Hello and welcome to this week's weekly parcel arranging video. Spring has officially sprung in the Hudson Valley and we have lots of blooming branches and potted bulbs and cut flowers for you to enjoy here at the shop. This week I'm working in the fairy vase, which is not your average clear container. It's got this beautiful pink, purple, iridescent hue to it. And we've got some locally grown flowers from Treadlight Farm, as well as some other materials from California. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with my branches because they are pretty hard to get in there once you get going. Again, with any woodies, you wanna cut up into the stem, making sure you're giving it enough surface area to hydrate. And I'm gonna leave these guys on the longer side because I really love their movement and how the branches have just their own way of being. With Forsythia, you can see here when these guys fall, there's all these little buds behind it that will follow. And then a beautiful little green sprig turns up after the flowers fade. So even though the flowers might not last that long, they're a beautiful textural branch that then gives you some nice little foliage tips. And everyone's Forsythia is a little different in their bouquets just because of the nature of the plant. So work with what you got, distributing it, creating that initial structure for you to work into. Next, I'm going to go in with my rice flower. These have a hard time hydrating as well, so it's a little bit harder to cut up into the stem because it's so thin. So you can just give it like a really clean, sharp edge to it, and then that way it has more surface area to hydrate from. And this fairy vase is a pretty narrow opening, so all of these little lateral stems that aren't going to go in there, I'm just going to pop into a bud vase later. If I overcrowd the neck of the container, I'm not going to be able to get a lot of flowers in there. So I'm really cleaning up these stems so that it's just purely the stem going into the container. This rosemary has some beautiful purple flowers blooming. And if your rice flower goes wimpy, which means it would droop over, you can recut the stems and put it into hot water. All right, and now these beautiful butterfly ranunculus, which are quickly becoming one of my favorite flowers. The beautiful thing about them is that once this main bloom fades, the buds do open. So it may seem like a fleeting flower, but I promise you, if you just clip it off, these other two guys are gonna open and you're gonna get at least a week and a half to 2 weeks of enjoyment from one stem. Just have faith. And I'm just distributing these around, filling in the holes that I have from the places where I didn't fill it with the other materials. Stripping the larger leaves toward the bottom, just because they do suck some of the energy out of the flower. And I, again, don't want to put too much into the neck of this vase. They're so pretty. Irene and Matt do a really great job. They're a certified organic flower farm, which is pretty rare to find. Okay, I've got one more piece of Forsythia, and I feel like there's a little bit of a low point here that I want to pop into. Oh, I love it. It's such a spring-forward bouquet. Really gives you that first feeling of things blooming and that summer is around the corner. That's it for today. This arrangement will be available for purchase at our shop, so come by and claim it if you love it, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.